Okay. Okay, everybody, welcome. It's Parshas Emor, and it is almost Lag B'omer. Hopefully, everybody has a great Sfiras Omer app on their phone and has not forgotten Sfiras Omer this year. So today is day number 30. So we are speaking about one of the main topics of this week's Parsha and Lag B'omer, which perfectly go together. So in Parshas Emor, Perek Chaf Gimel, we are introduced to all the Moadim by first being introduced to Shabbos. Our goal today is to understand Shabbos. We're going to be drawing on ideas that I hope trigger and jog your memory, taking it to the next step. We're going to be understanding what Shabbos is and the strange phenomenon of the Manna, which did not fall on Shabbos. It only fell doubly on Friday. And what that has to do with Lag B'omer is, if you haven't gotten the sheets yet, don't tell if you do have the sheets. What does that have to do with Lag B'omer? Anybody know? No. Okay, so what that has to do with Lag B'omer is that the Manna started to fall on Lag B'omer in the Midbar. So this is what we're working on. What is Shabbos in that there is no Manna on Lag B'omer? What is the secret of Lag B'omer? That the Manna starts to fall on Lag B'omer, but how does that relate to Shabbos when the Manna does not fall? Okay, that's our question. The falling of the Manna starting on Lag B'omer and the fact that Manna did not fall on Shabbos. So Lag B'omer, Shabbos, they both have to do with Manna. We're going to start by looking in Perek Chaf Gimel. I notice this in Emor. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to introduce to us all the Moadim, now this is not the only part of the Torah that describes the Moadim. There are a number of sections. Two main sections that we pull from for our tefillah is the discussion of the Moadim in Emor and the discussion of the Moadim in Pinchas. Anyone know the difference between the two? Pinchas describes the karbanos of the day. Also, there's more different distinctions, but the karbanos. So whenever the tefillah is going to talk about the karbanos of that day, like in Musaf, the additional karbanos, it's going to be from Pinchas. And Emor talks about the mitzvahs of the day, like Lulav and Esrog, on Shavuos, which is coming up, the Shtei Halechem, which really has to do with the karbanos, that's the truth. But Emor is going to speak about the more, not so much focus on the specific animal karbanos of the day, but the mitzvah hayom, the mitzvah of the day. Okay? Now, that being the case, look how all the Moadim are introduced. Okay? V'yidaber Hashem el Moshe lemor, daber el b'nei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem, Moadei Hashem, these are the Moadim, asher tikruosam, that you shall declare them, announce them, Mikrai Kodesh, Elehem Moadei. They should all be called out. They should be called Kodesh, holy, sanctified. These are important words. First of all, Moed. What is a Moed? You know, when you go to El Al, the destination. Okay, it's about the destination, and you shall call them sanctified. They're Kadosh. Elehem Moadai. These are my Moadim. What's the first one? Sheishes Yamim Tasa Malacha. 6 days a week you should do all your malacha. B'yom hashvi'i, but on the seventh day, Shabbos Shabboson. This is a day of Shabbos Shabboson, rest, right? Mikra Kodesh. It should be called, declared as Kodesh, different, sanctified. Kol malacha lo sasu. You may not do malacha. Shabbos hila Hashem. It is Shabbos for Hashem. Bechol moshvo sechem, in all your settlements. And then it goes into the first of what we call the Moadim. Eila Modeh Hashem Mikrai Kodesh Asher Tikruosam B'Modem B'Chodesh Harishon Ba'arba Asur L'Chodesh Ben Harbayim Pesach. So it starts with Pesach and it goes through the cycle of the year. Okay? So all the Moadim, you should know, are introduced with the first and the primary, the mother of all Moadim, which is called Shabbos. Okay? The Moed, again, is the destination. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay? It's something we're working towards, we're heading towards. All the Moadim get their significance from Shabbos, fundamental. All the other Moadim, Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos, okay, and then we have two other ones, which are Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which are these are called the Regalim. These are unique a little bit. They represent the history of the Jewish people. Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos, right? Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, of course, are man taking stock of themselves associated with the Bria Sa'olam. In any case, Moadim are all, they derive their sanctity from the fact that there is the mother of all Moadim, which is Shabbos. We will clarify this further, okay? So if you're looking at your notes, we are going to try to figure out what is Shabbos, okay? And that it bestows, it is a moed, is the ultimate moed, and it bestows the status of moed on all the other Yom Tovim. And we can only know what to do with the Yom Tovim if we know what Shabbos is. Because the Shabbos is the ultimate destination, and all the moedim are part of reaching that destination. Then we have to know what Shabbos is. Now, in the Tefillah, I think we put it here. And by the way, thank you, Tanya, who's back. Yay. For a week. And we did our notes in person this morning instead of through the computer. Thank you, Tanya. Did we put in the piece from Tefillah? I don't think so.
No, you told
we did. So if you see, when you daven Shmona Esrei for Shachris, Mincha, Marav on a Moed, okay, when it's Shabbos, the formula for the end of the bracha of sanctifying that Moed is Mekadesh, HaShabbos, the Yisrael, the whatever day it is. Okay? Now, that means that's the order. First, there is the Kedusha of Shabbos. Shabbos is the ultimate Moed. By us absorbing and understanding and integrating ourselves, like making us part of the whole process of the Kedusha of Shabbos, that bestows Kedusha on Yisrael, which we then bestow Kedusha on the Moedim. You know that. We declare the Moedim, right? We declare when a Moed's going to be. We declare when we call that day Kodesh. Whether, let's say, depending on Rosh Chodesh, we decide Tuesday or Wednesday is going to be Kodesh, even as far as Yom Kippur goes. Or any of the Moedim, we decide which day it is. So Shabbos is the ultimate Kedusha. It's the ultimate Moed. We connect with that. We become part of that. We bestow that Kedusha on the Moedim. And the Moedim then are part of the whole journey leading us to that final destination. Okay, so what is Shabbos? So if you have a Chumash, flip back to the beginning, or you can look in the notes. Okay? There are a few key words. We wanted to identify 4 key words that we're working with, which are associated with Shabbos, which we deal with all the time. We try to figure out what exactly they're saying. Okay? So this is famous, okay? Perek Beis Pasuk Aleph in Bereshis. Vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzva'am. The word we're focusing on is Vayachulu. Everybody sees the shoresh? What's the shoresh? Oh, when did we talk about kol? Last week. What did we say? One of the midos of Hashem. Again, when we say midah, what does that not mean? It does not mean that Hashem has a character trait or a personality trait. What does midah mean? What is the definition of midah? One of the methods through which Hashem conducts the world. Okay, now, one of them is called kol. And what did we say kol means? And it's very close. It's the one we identify with, almost, in terms of interacting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak. What does that mean? What is kol? Everything. What that means is what? When we say kol, everything, as opposed to rab, harbe, remember Sphere Omer, the expansion. Who pointed out to me last week that of course, gematria of kol is 50?
I think it was
Susie Schwartzstein, where is she? Okay. Kol is 50. 50, Omer, the end of the Omer. What did we say about kol? What did we say about kol? We view the world, right, as a single reality. Remember, we brought the Rambam, Mor Nevuchim, explaining chesed. What is chesed? Hashem brought this world into existence through chesed. Not olam chesed yibana does not mean that Hashem conducts the world with chesed. It means Hashem created a world through chesed. Now, if we think about chesed as one nice thing that someone, the giver, does for the taker, so in order to have chesed, you need a giver and a taker. You need me and someone else, another. What did we say? How could that define Hashem's bringing the world into existence? There were no others. Of course not. So chesed can't be doing something for another person. And then we said, in fact, are there ever any others? If we say Hashem does something for another, we're kind of saying that there's Hashem and others. That's a problem. Because what do we know? Einod milvado. There is no such thing as Hashem and other things. So what did we say?
We're all one.
Hashem, what Rambam says, we are, Hashem is, his oneness is all inclusive in that all forms of existence, metaphysical and physical, all exist as participants in Hashem's existence. Really, another way to say it is everything that exists on every level is Hashem willing it to emerge in its own unique form as part of his own existence. We do the same thing. Every time we develop ourselves further, know more, learn more, on every level, more of us exists. There's more in play of ourselves on different levels. More skills we have, more knowledge we have, more understanding we have, more abilities we have. There's more of us that emerges, but it's still all us. Humanity and the world itself, we said, emerges as participants in Hashem's existence, correct? And all of it together is a single echad. All right? It's all. Now, the Vayachulu, Hashamayim v'ha'aretz. What does this mean? Okay? Vayachulu, Hashamayim v'ha'aretz. So, there's a word, there. How do we use the word Vayichal? Kalta nafshi. What does this mean? Kalta or kalsa nafshi. Akala. What does this mean? Kala. Vayachulu. Keli. Kalta nafshi, David HaMelech says, means I'm yearning. I'm yearning. A kala gets married, okay, and a keli. Clearly, a keli is there to receive. A kala is going to receive, right? And through that, create. To receive in order to create. To yearn to receive in order to create. All humans experience this. Yearning to understand. Yearning to have more abilities, to be able to draw to ourselves through a tremendous amount of our own effort, more capacity to have more of us to create things, to be a creator. Why do we all want to be perfect, better? We make ourselves a vessel to be able to get more knowledge, more abilities, more strengths on every level. That's Vayachulu. Hashem created the whole Bria, physical Bria, and then Vayachulu means, this is Rav Hirsch, Hashem imbued the entire Bria down to the atoms. Every atom is seeking 8 electrons. That's why they bond with other atoms. Everything is yearning. Everybody is seeking. 8 is a magical number too, right? All of the Bria is filled with a yearning to receive and to feel connected to and whole with what we really are part of anyway. Correct? To receive, to gain more awareness, to be filled with what? To be filled with what? What are we looking for? We're looking for something to make us whole. And that means we're able to receive and take from and open ourselves up to something that will make us whole, which means will make us more able to be the creator we're designed to create. We're really seeking a connection that we can feel with Hashem, who we are part of, whose flow will fill us and strengthen us. That's Vayachulu. The entire Bria, all of creation, animals, humans, are filled with a yearning and a seeking for something that we know we're part of, but it's kind of missing. We don't hold on to it yet. We know something's there, that if it would be part of us, if we can include it in ourselves, we'd be more, and we would belong there. We would be at home, and we would be safe, and we would be part of something, and we would be complete. That's the whole Bria is filled with this. Okay. Now, what happens? Vayachal Elokim b'yom hashvi. Malachto asher asa. On the 7th day, on Shabbos, Hashem Vayichal. Somehow something happens on Shabbos. Something's going on Shabbos, right? There's a Vayichal. A call is going on Shabbos. A call, a oneness that we've been seeking. That happens on Shabbos, right? Vayishbos b'yom hashvi. So Hashem stops Shabbos. That has what link that to the man? Doesn't fall on Shabbos, okay? V'yishbos b'yom hashvi mikol malachto asher asa, from all the work of creation that Hashem did. Now look at this. Vayavarech Elokim es yom hashvi bracha, right? Vayavarech. Vayikadesh kedusha. Kivo shavas mikol malachto, because there he rested, whatever, from all the malacha. Asher bar Elokim, that Hashem created. What does this next word mean? Lasos. So the words we're focusing on is Vayavarech, Vayikadesh, and Lasos, and you're going to see that the order we're finding these words, 1, 2, 3, is the order of development, because when we understand what's happening, we're going to look backwards. When we understand Lasos, we're going to understand Vayikadesh, which means we're going to understand Vayavarech, which means we're going to understand Vayachulu. Okay? So what is it? How do you understand this pasuk? It's awkward. Hashem blessed Yom HaShvi. He made it kadosh because on that day, Shavas, from all the malacha that He created. La'asot. What is la'asot? What tense is that? Future. To do. That all the work He created to do. Now we're going to get into something that we've spoken about here before, but we're going to do it inside and go further. So, what does Rashi say? Vayavarech. How do you see the bracha of Shabbos? Vayavarech and Vayikadesh. Look down on the Rashi. Blessed it. Where is the blessing of Shabbos found? In the man. In what way? Huh? No. What's Vayavarech? Barcho Baman. The bracha Vayavarech means Barcho Baman. He blessed it Baman. Shekol Yemot HaShabbos. Hayayired Lehem Omer LeGilgolet. Every day of the week, it was one amount, one specific, a portion per person, per head. Okay. Ubashishi. Friday, double. So the bracha of Shabbos is that on Friday there's double. Okay, that's the bracha of Shabbos. The bracha of Shabbos starts before Shabbos. It's that there's double on Friday. What is Vayikadesh? V'kadsho b'man. Also, Vayikadesh refers to the man. Shalo yarad bo man klal. Shabbos, the man did not fall at all. So Vayavarech is double on Friday. Vayikadesh, Kedusha is, there was no man. Remember when we did Kedoshim, it's what you don't do. Kedusha, Vayikadesh, no man. Okay, next, Lasos. Asher bara Elokim Lasos. Now this is very cryptic. And this is the Medrash says this, and we're going to go deeper into this because it doesn't, as we know, Gemara Medrash does not write in essay form. They give you cryptic little nuggets, and then our sages and those that came after them and wrote the philosophy about what this is trying to say. So what does the Medrash say? Hamalacha shahaisa ru'uya lasos b'Shabbos. The work that Hashem intended or was worthy or was fit to do on Shabbos, not intended, the work that was fit to do on Shabbos, kafal, He doubled it up, v'yasa b'shishi, and did it on the 6th day, as it says in Bereshis Rabbah. Okay, this is Rashi. Okay, what is this talking about? Okay, let's look at the Ramban. Whenever you see Ramban, you're seeing, who is Ramban? Kabbalah. Okay. And he blessed, and he sanctified. So first he quotes Rashi. He blessed with manna and sanctified with man. The verse is written about the future. This is the language of our teacher, Rashi. Okay? So first he brings Rashi. Now Rav Sadia Gaon, 800s, one of the very first to go back and start explaining Jewish philosophy. One of the first, before the Rambam, before the Moreh Nevuchim. He says, so in the name of Sadia, some have said that the blessing and the sanctification is on those that observe the Shabbos, that they should be blessed and sanctified, which we're going to explain. That clearly that's how it works. But the understanding of the verse is not that it's speaking about the future. So Rashi says it's about the future, it's about the man, or Sadia says no, it's about now, the person is blessed and sanctified. Rav Evan Ezra says the blessing is an addition of good. Now, that there be generated greater power to multiply among bodies and greater intellectual ability of the soul. And He sanctified it. So what did we say here? This is kind of like what we said about Vayachulu, right? It's greater powers to multiply, to increase, right? to have greater abilities of the soul. Now, we're going to go down a little bit to where I bolded it, okay? Okay, and he sanctified it. It should draw from the holy. And if you will understand this, you will know that what they said in Bereshis Rabbah, as it doesn't have a partner, and that which they also said, the assembly of Israel will be its partner, and you will understand that there is an extra soul on Shabbos. Okay, now, what does this mean? It has no partner. Israel has no partner. There's a medrash that every day had a partner, okay, and Shabbos did not have a partner. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Shabbos had no partner, so Hashem said what? That the Israel will be your partner. Bnei Yisrael and Shabbos go together. If you understand this, that Bnei Yisrael and Shabbos go together, okay, you will understand that there's an extra soul on Shabbos. In truth, that the Lord created in making. There's something called Neshama Yisera, which is what Hashem does, so to speak, on Shabbos. And this is what it means, that the work that was fitting to do on Shabbos, he doubled up and did on the sixth day, as explained. Now, what are we talking about? So now we have a little extra piece of information. There's something that was fit to do on Shabbos. It's implied by the word lasos, but Hashem did it on Friday. And we know Friday, they got extra month. And Shabbos, they didn't get any. And now we're adding the Ramban, which says that Shabbos has a Neshama Yisera. So Neshama Yisera on Shabbos, which is associated with not having the month fall, okay? That all goes together, and that we have to understand as, in light of the fact that there was things that were supposed to be done on Shabbos that were done before. Now what we're going to do here is we're going into Shlomo Fisher. Rav Shlomo Fisher is basing, and I gave it to you in the Hebrew because it's not in English. He's alive and well, and he should be in Har Nof, and he has a sefer called the Beis Yishai, and he's everything is profound. He's basing it on Bereshis Perek Aleph, the end of Bereshis Perek Aleph. We have a clear question here. Okay, every day Hashem created something, and pretty much, except one exception, Hashem looked at what he did, and said, "Vayar Lakim Kitov." Right. So on the first day was light and darkness. Okay, Kitov. Second day, Hashem separated the upper waters and the lower waters, but it doesn't say Kitov because it was separation, machlokas. Okay, machlokas between the upper spheres, achiluk, mechitza, between the upper spheres, the ruchnias, and the lower spheres, the gashmias, that they're not one, they're separated as not a tov. Okay, now, third day, what happens? Yikavu hamayim, the waters gather, the dry land appears, and there's two kitovs, okay, on that day. Next, so the light and dark have their own day, okay? The sky and the separation has its own day. Continents, oceans, land, the land itself has its own day. What happens on fourth day? Sun, moon, stars, all the celestial spheres, they have their own day. What happens on the fifth day? Fish and birds, they have their own day. What happens on the sixth day? Oh, you have the creation of animals, and look what it says. Look in the notes. Vayasol Kimeschayis Haaretz, pasuk 25. He made all the beasts. Vayar Elokim Kitov. Done. Hashem. It's the sixth day. Hashem makes all the beasts, all of animal life, of which we spoke about a couple of weeks ago when we talked about our attitude towards animals and how we were the first ever to insist on animal rights on many levels, and understand that animals are also part of Hashem, just a different level. Right? Also participating in Hashem's existence. So we're done. Hashem creates the animals and says, V'yar Lakim Kitov. And then look what happens. Something new starts. V'yomer Lakim Na'aseh Adam B'tzalmeinu Kidmusenu. Let's make man B'tzelem Elokim Kidmuso Na'aseh Adam. And V'yivra Elokim Es Adam. Now, V'yas Na'aseh, let's make. And V'yivra, which one represents a higher level? Vayivra is yesh me'ayin, it emerges from nothing. Lasos is to just make it out of raw material. First Hashem says, let's make man, okay? This is what is being referred to of Asher Bar Lakim Lasos. Nasa, you know what? Let's do it now. I already finished doing the animals. I said Kitov, that's how every day ends, but now I have another, let's make man. And it's the royal we. Vayivra Elokim es ha'adam, b'tzalmo, in God's own image, b'tzelem Elokim, we've spoken about this. Vayivarech osam, he blesses them, etc. Look at the last pasuk 31. What does it say? Vayar Elokim es kol asher asa v'hinei tov ma'od. It's very good. So it seems like, okay, and here's where we're going to go. I want you to turn to your handouts, which is the next page, where it says Beis Yishai, okay? It looks like this. It'll be both of these pages, okay? It's all in Hebrew. Just turn the page over. Turn the page over. It looks like the Shlomo Fisher asks, hey, wait a second. Why doesn't man, Tzelem Elokim, why don't we get our own day? Why are we added after Hashem finished the animals on the sixth day and said Kitov, and then it's almost like, oh, and also let's throw in man too, and threw man in on the sixth day. That's the Asher Bara Elokim Lasso. So it was really man, Tzelem Elokim, his Ra'oi is associated with Shabbos, not with the animals. So here we are suddenly thrown in with the animals, and this is what the Medrash is saying, that what Hashem intended to do on Shabbos, he quickly doubled up and did it before Shabbos. That's the lassos. Naseh Adam. Let's do it now. So why? What is this all about? What's the secret here? So look at the page I gave you. Actually, the one with all the underlines, that's the first page, okay? So you see on the first column where, the third paragraph down, where he's speaking about this, Asher bara Elokim Lassos, you see that? So let's look at it inside, okay? Follow along if you can. The fourth paragraph on the right.
Where? On the right.
Fourth paragraph on the right. V'hinei b'kol sheishas yimei bereishis, all the 6 days of creation, it says after Hashem finished his malacha, Vayar Elokim Kitov. Ve'af b'yom hashishi kasav kain, and on the sixth day too. Aval heichan kasav zeh, but where? Lachar brias habehema v'hachaya, after the completion of creating the animals and the beast, it says Vayar Elokim Kitov. Shema mina, we figure, it seems from here, Kikan nigmara melechas yom hashishi. That's it. That's the end. It's nigmar. It's finished. The work of the sixth day. Va'achar kach, and then after that, matchil inyan chadash. A whole new subject begins. Vayomer Elokim. God said, Nasa Adam. Let's make man. Harei mivuar. It's clear. Shemikan matchila hamalacha shaita ruya lasot b'Shabbat. This is where it begins. What was fit to do on Shabbos. That was quickly thrown in and done on the sixth day. And that's why it does not say after Brias Olam Kitov, but it does say Tov Ma'od at the completion of everything. When everything exists, it's Tov Ma'od. Everything. What's everything? Everything, including man. The Kol, then the Vayachulu, the Kol, then it says Tov Ma'od. Now, the Hanyan. Okay, and we're going to just read the first paragraph, but if you want to do this, work this out, these 2 pages, it's incredible. I will just read with you the first paragraph and summarize the rest. Okay, it is clear that Hashem created man together with the animals. V'nivra be'emes b'darga shel behema. A human is created on the day of the animals because we're created like the animals, similar level. Ella shezeh b'poel. That was in reality. We're like the animals. We are a sophisticated animal. All our systems are the same. They can figure out how to. Medical advances are tested on animals because we are similar to animals, right? That's reality. Ubakoach nivra ka'adam. But in potential, it was created to be an adam. Now, what does an Adam mean? Okay, Adam means Tzelem Elokim. That constitutes being an Adam. Otherwise, as Rambam says, and we've learned here, you look like a Adam, but you are not an Adam. Okay, an Adam is a person who is an Adam, is a human being operating as a Tzelem Elokim, gets the designation of an Adam. Okay, Adameh, I am similar. Okay. V'zeh mechuna hirayon. This means conception. We are conceived, so to speak, to be an Adam. But we are not born as an Adam. We are born like the animal. Shebechinas Adam shabo, hu rak b'koach v'lo b'pol. The quality of Adam in him is only in potential, not in reality. V'haya zeh b'kavanah tchila me'es habori yisbarach. And this was the intention of Hashem from the beginning. Lahatil matala zu al ha'adam atzmo, to put this responsibility on man himself. Lahotzi b'chinat adam shabo, to draw out from within him his own quality of being an adam, to make himself into an adam. Min ha'koach el ha'poel, from potential to reality. Now here are the words: laholid be'atzmo et atzmo, to give birth by himself to himself. We give birth to our Tzelem Elokim, to our highest, most virtuous version of ourself, that is the Creator, participant in God's existence, ensuring the well-being of the entire Bria, feeling the kol, the oneness of all things. It's all part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we, as someone who receives Torah, is an Adam, which anybody could be. It's never discriminatory. Okay, except maybe, well, no, it's not discriminatory. Okay? Even the Moavis and the Ammonites that are lo yavo b'kal Hashem, it does not mean they can't become Jewish. It means they can't marry a Jew. There's all kinds of rules about that. However, the idea is that everybody's part of a HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we take responsibility through the mitzvahs to ensure that the whole Bria, that Hashem has partnered with us in running. Remember the Nefesh HaChaim? Vahi Adam lin Nefesh Chai. A man becomes the Nefesh Chai of the universe, the driving engine. We make ourselves into that person that drives the universe, and that determines what happens here. We give birth to our Tzelem Elokim. Okay. Now he goes on to say that in a normal birth there are three participants: the pregnant mother, the maidservant, the what's it called, the midwife, and the offspring. And if you look in the third paragraph, okay. If you look in the second paragraph from the bottom, he says, Ki b'leida harishona mishtatvim shlosha. In our first birth, our physical birth into this world, there are three. Hayoledet, the woman giving birth. Hamiyaledet, the midwife. V'hayilud, and the offspring. Masha ein came, which is not the case, b'leida hashniya, in our second birthing of ourselves, to be, to borrow a phrase, reborn, okay? To give birth to ourselves. Who have yilud, v'hu hayoled, v'hu hamiyaled. We are the pregnant mother with ourselves. We are the midwife, and we are the offspring. But he says, who is the midwife? So look at the next paragraph. He belashon hamishna, nikra hamiyaledes chachma. Chachma is the midwife. Every such situation that we face, we have to draw on our chachma to use it, to analyze it, and to use it so that it becomes an asset for us, that it's like a well-used, so to speak, contraction, that it's a challenge that contributes to developing us more into the Tzelem Elokim, the Creator, the participant with God, who's taking responsibility to improve the world through our mitzvahs, or not only our mitzvahs operate on, not only action, physical action, but thought, speech, and action. This is the Tzelem Elokim we give birth to by ourselves. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then he goes into a whole thing which we've spoken about in the past, how they were meant to eat from the Eitz Hadas, but they ate from it too soon. And what that means is like this. There is a point of existence which is going to be called Shabbos, which we experience, which is associated with the Neshama Yisera, and no falling of the month, which is existing fully in that awareness as a part of a HaKadosh Baruch Hu's existence. That's why you don't have to work for anything on Shabbos. The 39 malachos break down into three categories: the pursuit of food, clothing, and shelter. We prepare before Shabbos because we experience on Shabbos that we don't have to put in any effort to ensure our existence. It's part of being part of God's existence. We exist. It all is there for us. There's no gathering it, even. It's just, it exists. It's the reality. We exist because we're part of Hashem's existence. We don't have to provide for our own existence. That's Shabbos. And that being part of a HaKadosh Baruch Hu's existence, but knowing it and feeling it after all the yearning to experience that, and operating as a Tzelem Elokim, which means the Nefesh Chaya, the part of the driving engine of the universe, and appreciating that, and feeling the fulfillment of that, that's Shabbos. Now, that being Shabbos, so everybody's supposed to get to that point, okay? Everyone's supposed to get to that point. What the whole sin of the Eitz Hadas just involves wanting to experience that without going through the effort of becoming that. Being created on Friday means there is a process leading to a destination, which is a moed or a ya'ad. They're all part of it. There is a process where we give birth to our own Tzelem Elokim, which is then our Shabbos-like existence. You can't jump there without the process, because it's not easy to exist in a Shabbos-like existence. Okay, so some cultures are so yearning for that existence, they want to jump there so fast, they do. They divest themselves of the entire process. They opt out of the process. They move to some place in the mountains somewhere. They don't eat. They get rid of all their possessions, their clothing. They don't speak. They barely eat. They meditate all day. They probably do experience some things. They don't want to go through the process either, so they just opt out of it and go to the end game. But you can't get there that way. That's not the way it works. You must go through the process. The process involves transforming from the animal of the sixth day. Now, this is the Omer. This is the barley to the bread. The animal does not know that it is part of some other greater existence. What that means is an animal's only interest is its preservation of, or its children, maybe its little herd. Okay? That's barley. That's the first day. That's our awareness when we are born, the day after Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's a child. A child cares and is aware of their own existence, and all their needs are in response to their own existence. Eventually, a child becomes aware that there's others, and they are not others. And eventually, we realize, yes, actually, we are others. We're all part of one whole. And that process is from the barley to the lechem, which we're going to get to in next week probably, which is Shavuos is the carbon, is the lechem, is bread. But that process of becoming aware of the whole, all right? We're going from being born on the sixth day, being created on the sixth day. In other words, like the animals, with an animal consciousness, which is me as a separate entity, and in that consciousness, all of Avodah Zarah flourished. There's God up there, we know that, somebody created the world, but there's me separate with my own survival needs down here, so let me do my best to make deals with God. Okay? Then the Jewish people arrived, etc., and the process of history that's not the arrangement at all. There's us as Tzelem Elokim, as the Nefesh Chaya. We expand our conception of ourself to include everything. The Ani includes everything. Right? We said that Chesed is not doing for others. Chesed is when others are part of your existence. The more and more others that we automatically feel is part of our existence, that shows the expansion of our Ani, of our sense of this. We're created on Friday, and we go to Shabbos. We give birth to that self that we will fully experience in the final Shabbos, because this Shabbos is only a taste of the final Shabbos, when this will be clear to us. Now this is the key to understanding all the laws of Kavod Shabbos and Oneg Shabbos. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them with you, but you have a handout here, which do read. It's the Rambam on Hilchos Shabbos, where he clearly, thanks to Chabad.org, clearly sets out the laws of Kavod Shabbos and Oneg Shabbos. And by the way, he says, what is meant by honor? Look at two. There are two dimensions. Okay? He tells us there are two dimensions, Oneg Shabbos and Kavod Shabbos. All right? Two, what is meant by honor? Wash your face and hands and feet in hot water. Wrap yourself in your tzitzis and sit with proper respect, waiting to receive Shabbos. Okay? Put on a clean garment. This is all honor. Get ready. Okay, he's going to say, clean your room. Okay? Launder your clothes on Thursday. Don't have a big meal. In other words, be prepared. Okay? Then he says, set the table. All right? And prepare your food. Prepare your house. Okay? Clean your sheets. All that stuff. All this is an expression of honor. Even if you're a very important person. Okay, I'm in 6 now. Do something to prepare for Shabbos. Okay? That's all kavod. So everything about kavod is about preparing for Shabbos. Okay? Preparing for Shabbos. Now, okay. What is oneg? What is meant by Shabbos oneg? Prepare a particular sumptuous dish, pleasantly flavored beverage, spend a lot of money, okay? Partake of, make your food special. It's all about food. Eat 3 meals on Shabbos. Make it extra special. By the way, there brings, if you see this footnote number 37, brings a Mishnah Brura, although he says wine and meat, it's all about oneg. If that's not your oneg, you do not have to eat it. There's only one time you got to eat meat in the whole year if you're a Jew, and that's what? 1 Kazayas and Korban Pesach. Otherwise, you don't have to eat meat on Shabbos. Whatever is, he says, in those days, wine and meat was customary. Or he says, if it's 3 meals on Shabbos, but if you get sick from eating too much, it's not oneg. So, well, we talked about that last week. They say he probably was a vegetarian.
Yeah, but he ate the meat.
Says who?
No, I'm saying, so the Korban Pesach.
There wasn't Korban Pesach or Cook's Day.
In memoriam.
Yeah. I don't know if he ate meat ever. But, okay. Now, he tells you basically that, okay, so number 1, you should all kinds of stuff about eating and drinking. And then it says don't travel, so that you could prepare your food. Why shouldn't you travel? So you could prepare your food. It's all about food. And you can't fast. You can't fast, okay? You hear this? So it's all about food, all right? No, you can't fast on Shabbos. And then there's Tashmish 14, there's relations, okay? And then, so basically if you broke down kavod and oneg, you see that what comes first? First kavod, and then oneg. But now go back to your notes. Go to the front page of your notes, so nobody's confused, the very beginning. Now turn 1 page, turn 2 pages, and look at the 3rd page, number 5, kavod and oneg, okay? Look at, kavod comes first, it's preparation for Shabbos. Oneg comes second, it's delight through food and drink on Shabbos, correct? All right. Look at what we say every day in the bracha right before Kriyas Shema. Look what I bolded. Okay? Hameir la'aretz ladarim aleh barachamim. Look to the last 2 lines. Kel baruch. It's aleph base, by the way. Kel baruch gadol deah hechinu fal sarechama. What are the next 4 words? Tov yatzar kavod lishmo. Now, Rav Moshe always spoke about this. Moshe Shapiro, Zechrono Livracha. Tov yatzar kavod lishmo. Very fundamental. Try never to forget what you're about to hear from Rav Moshe. Okay. Tov yatzar. Hashem created, He formed Tov. First, because there's Tov, that's why kavod lishmo. There is kavod for Hashem's name, which means Tov. Now, Tov is going to be associated with Oneg Shabbos. Oneg Shabbos, Tov. There is a Tov which is Shabbos. Okay? And that Tov is the reason why there's kavod and preparation for Shabbos. Because Tov exists, that's why we prepare for it. Now let's put our ideas together, okay? And then we'll get to the secret of Lag B'omer. Okay? There is Shabbos. Shabbos was the point of the whole Bria. But it came last. We say in the Lecha Dodi, and I heard this from my father-in-law, Zechrono Livracha. One of the first things I learned What do we say in L'chadodi? Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. What does that mean? The end result is your first intention. If you say, I want to build a house, first you envision the house, then you go gather all your materials, and then you put it together, and then a year later there's a house. But that house represents your first dream. It came first. Shabbos came first. Okay? Sof Maaseh, yes, it's last in appearing, so to speak, but it's the intention and the purpose, the original plan of everything was because there would be a Shabbos in the end. Everything created prior to Shabbos is just part of the process leading to the destination, which is Shabbos. Eile Moed Hashem. This is the destination, Shabbos. All of the Yom Tovim get their importance from the fact that they are part of the process towards Shabbos. All of the 6 days of the week get their importance in that they're going to Shabbos. Shabbos is the ultimate Tov, okay? The Tov Ma'od. Shabbos is the day of Kol, when we experience a touch of it here, but not really, the oneness of everything and our role in it. Okay, that exists. That's an absolute reality. It's also called Schar. Okay, that's Schar. Because that exists, Hashem created a world. And because that exists, Hashem created man on this 6th day. Really, man is supposed to exist in Shabbos, and that is the goal, and that is the future. And it's getting there. But the process of coming to that point, Hashem gave to us. He put us in the 6th day and gave us the job to give birth to our Shabbos self, our Tselem Elokim. Everything we do to prepare for Shabbos is kavod. Because Tov Yatzar, because Tov was formed, it exists. Therefore, kavod l'shmo. Therefore, we do all kinds of things to give kavod to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, kavod to that goal, work towards that goal. Kavod Shabbos is preparation for Shabbos. But Oneg Shabbos is existing in Shabbos, in the Tov, and the whole mushal we use is eating. Why? We eat beautiful things. Why? So here the Ramban says, the lasos is the neshama yesera. In order to experience and to appreciate and to enjoy all of this tov, we have to make ourselves capable of receiving it. We have to be a keli. You can't appreciate something you never yearned for, something you never missed, something you didn't even know was missing. How could you yearn for it? So the first idea is to know what's the future and what's the ultimate reality, and then knowing that's it, to yearn for a piece of that. Because you yearn for a piece of that, you work towards it. That's covered. Now we're going to go backwards. Lasos was the last thing we heard. Asher Barlakim Lasos. Hashem did it. It created us, on early in order for us to work towards the goal of Shabbos. Therefore, Hashem, stop the mun on Shabbos. There is no mun on Shabbos. It doesn't fall anymore. And therefore it fell earlier. And the reason it fell earlier is because Hashem imbued this world with a yearning. Let's see what that means. Let's take it further. Now the secret of Lag B'omer. There are 49 days in the Omer. Kavod Gematria is 32. Tov Gematria is 17. What is Lag B'omer? 33. It's the first day between the transition of Kavod to Tov. The transition of Kavod to Tov. By the way, what happened in those 32 days that are Gematria of Kavod?
Well, they didn't treat each other.
Lo Nahagu Kavod. Remember Rabbi Kiva's students? They didn't treat each other with kavod. Okay? They didn't feel the kol. All right? 32 days of the Omer represent kavod. Kavod comes first in the process, but the goal, which comes after the tov, was envisioned first. Okay? 37 tov is 17. Okay? 17 days of the Omer now leading to Shavuos. We'll continue this about Shavuos next week. The day of transition is Lag B'omer. And the man started to fall. So what that means is we are in a process of using our whole life. Remember, the 49 days really represent a person's entire journey, the journey of all of Am Yisrael. 49 is a magical number, 7 times 7. It always represents a process to 50, 50 being the kol, the wholeness. Okay? So in this 49 days, 2/3 of it, pretty much, okay, are working towards, they're working with the kavod, preparing, knowing that everything we do here is to make ourselves a keli, able to receive that tov. In order to be able to receive the tov, you have to make out of ourselves, give ourselves the tools to receive it. Here's the mashal we used to give. I like to give. Einstein is resurrected for a day. Okay? He's going to be there to give a lecture, and everybody, since he died, with all their questions and all the big gaps in the theories, are going to come, and he's going to explain, expand, fill in all those holes, take physics to the next level. Okay? Everybody, they sell tickets, and in 5 minutes, 1 million people buy tickets. Everyone wants to hear Einstein. The place fills up with 1 million people. Okay? Einstein starts speaking, and he starts writing on the board these complicated formula that, that X over R times 2 divided by C. I don't even know the formulas. Numbers and letters and who knows, and exponents and dashes and things. And he writes all these formulas, okay? And he's speaking. After 5 minutes, just 5 minutes into the show, 98% of the audience is not sleeping, texting, or playing Candy Crush. Okay? All right. Now, why are they not listening? Because they don't know what he's talking about. Why don't they know what he's talking about? Because they never learned physics, so they don't know what X means and what R means, what S means. They don't have the kalim. They're not a kli. It's not that Einstein isn't there, and it's not that all the information they ever wanted to know is not being shared freely, but they can't receive any of it. They are not a keli. They don't have the tools. They haven't made themselves able to receive. Okay? Now, all of the days of our lives, we are making ourselves more and more able to receive that final awareness, forget about Einstein now, that final awareness of the call of Shabbos. That's the Neshama Yisera. The Neshama Yisera gives us on Shabbos a capacity to receive that a little bit more. And that's why we eat and drink. It's being able to eat. The eating is a mashal for the taking in of pleasure, of filling ourselves, of becoming whole and full and not yearning anymore. Filling the vessel. Filling the vessel. That's the eating delicious foods, special foods, spending extra money on it, eating. So to sum it all up, and then Bobby's comment. To sum it up, okay? There's Tov and Tov Ma'od. Every day, the process where everything Hashem has given us in life that we use to make a keli out of ourselves, we use it for kavod. That's the kavod. We use everything purposefully because one day we will be part of the call and we will receive all of that. And we know it. So everything we do as an act of kavod to that end. Respect for that, appreciation of that, preparation for that. That's Tov Ma'od. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates man with the ultimate job of giving birth to our own self, our Shabbos self. And where we recognize ourselves as part of the call, and that's Tov Ma'od. First, the 32 days is covered, and if there's no covet in those days, that's the ultimate sin. Then we shift, starting Lag B'omer, the man starts falling. What is the man? What is the man? You're provided for. It's perfect. It's everything with no effort. Okay? And it represents the delights of our eating on Shabbos. But then you get to a point even beyond that of Tov Ma'od. The ultimate experience of Shabbos is not the bestowing as part of the process of the a little bit of the tov. Meaning even in the 49 days, even in our life, in response to the kavod, our preparation, we do get tov. We do get a little bit of it. We get a little bit on Shabbos. We get some feeling of it during when we do our mitzvahs. We even see it, hashgacha pratis and things. We see Hashem's guiding hand. We do see some of the tov. But the highest levels when the month stops falling completely. So much has fallen on Friday, the day we are creating ourselves, that on Shabbos we just enjoy it. It doesn't even have to fall anymore. It's all fallen already, meaning Hashem has bestowed to us, through our efforts, so much tov that we just become part of it. It's a natural progression into that state. And there's not even the work of collecting it. Not even the work of collecting it. It's there, and without any effort at all, it satisfies us. And this is the Rambam's bringing down and explaining in Hilchos Tshuva, chapter 8, that the mashal for schar in the next world is tzadikim yoshvim, righteous are sitting. Their crowns are in their heads, not on their heads. Remember, the crown is that awareness, but now it's in our heads. And they're nenim iziv hashchina, they're just enjoying the radiance. And the mashals, they're eating a suda from the meat of the livyason, that huge fish. Okay, that's a mashal. It represents das. The suda they're eating is the explosion of das, of knowledge, real knowledge. So that is the ultimate tov ma'od. So what we're saying here is that the neshama Yisrael Funner points this out in Maimer Gimel and Shabbos. The quality of Shabbos is there's a neshama Yisrael, which means we have if we're busy to the degree that we prepare for Shabbos. Do you know what that means on many levels? We experience the neshama Yisera of Shabbos. And what does the neshama Yisera do? It lets us receive. It's a kli. It goes all the way back to Vaychlu. And that's expressed through the eating and the drinking of the Oneg Shabbos.
What did you say, Remy?
The neshama Yisera is extra. It's a vessel that collects the tov. It's a vessel that receives the tov. And that's why you eat specially. That's Oneg Shabbos. That's associated with the neshama Yisera. So as we end here, this Motzi Shabbos is Lag B'omer. It's the shift from Kavod to Tov, the beginning of it. It's a very spiritual day. Obviously, it's associated with Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. And some aspect of it, we should, for ourselves, we should become aware that everything we do here is working towards a goal. The only reason we do anything here is because the goal exists. It is not a bad thing to always work towards a future schar. That's what gives everything meaning in our lives. Everything. It's all towards a future schar. So we should all have a beautiful Lag B'omer. And